if I told you an HOA basically harassed a black family because a kid touched a tree? Here's a video.
My name is Ariel. I busted my ass for the last 5 years to buy a home for my children as a single mother of 5. And there is a woman who is filing a complaint on my 5-year-old, who's also the same woman who sits at the head of the HOA, who does not like my 5-year-old touching a tree. She decided to take legal action. And my HOA, as of today, is seeking to start legal action against my 5-year-old for touching a tree and touching a rock. They listed him under Article 7, Section 8 of the HOA and listed him to the neighborhood as a public annoyance and public nuisance to the neighborhood. List him as a public annoyance and nuisance when in Article 7 is usually reserved for loud parties, out of control noise complaints, or excessive parking. Not a human, not a child, for touching a tree. The head of my HOA is the only lady who is seeking this complaint. She is the only person who is recording my child every day at his public bus stop. There is no damage to the tree, nor is he on video or record throwing a rock. She does have video of him touching the branches of the tree. He wakes up every morning at 7:30 a.m. with no children, records my child at a public bus stop for Orange County Public Schools from inside her home window. The legal, suit, she's trying to start a photo of my son in the tree, a photo of my family, and then a photo of everyone else's garbage cans that don't seem to get fines or regulations besides mine in the comparison. This is not to get my neighbors in trouble. This is to just make everyone aware what our HOA money is being spent and used for. On Sunday, I walked my 5-year-old son to 63 houses. We walked with flowers to 63 houses in my neighborhood to show them the lawsuit that our HOA money is being used to pursue on a 5-year-old, and to ask them, A, is my son Owen a public nuisance? B, no, Owen is not a public nuisance. Or C, I do not know who Owen is. So I felt like if the neighborhood was going to list my child as a public nuisance or public annoyance to the area, I might as well ask them as the mother, what did my son do?
Very well done. I've been following this story. I saw this online a few days ago, and at that time, I contacted my production team, and we have reached out to this mother. And so if the mother receives this, please check your inbox on social media. I'm sure that you've received a lot of messages, but check the one from Indisputable. We would love to continue to advocate for your cause and your child. Put up the picture for a mass. I'm going to give you the background to this. According to Atlanta Black Star, who did great reporting on this, by the way, Ariel Barner. Ms. Barner, a Florida mother, says she's being subjected to a prejudicial and discriminatory HOA notice that resulted in fines after a neighbor filed a complaint about her son playing on a community magnolia tree. Ms. Barner, a single, hard-working mother of 5 children, said she bought her first home in Orange County. Now she's fighting a legal notice from her HOA accusing her 5-year-old child, Owen, of violating community rules by swinging from a tree on public property at his bus stop. Now, we all know children, because, we've all been a child. We, in our childlike state, will play on welcoming trees, even if somebody says, hey, get down from there, whatever it may be, okay? It's a rite of passage, basically. The legal notice alleges that Owen, in fact, violated a regulation stating that, quote, no noxious or offensive activity shall be conducted or permitted to exist upon any lot or any dwelling unit, nor shall anything be done or permitted to exist on any lot or in any dwelling unit that may be or may become an annoyance or private or public nuisance, thus the HOA justified. You can't write dumb-ish. So, in an enforceable contract, that's what the HOA is giving you, a contract, right? In a contract, the terms must be enforceable. There are multiple grounds of unenforceability here with the contract, but that's my opinion. Now, I'm going to give you my informed opinion as to why in just a moment. So, the HOA justified the grounds for the notice by writing that the association members will not be liable for any injuries that the children or child might suffer from swinging from tree branches, which is typically a given in the liability clause of an HOA contract or HOA agreement. Also, quote, they listed under Article 7, Section 8, that the HOA enlisted him to the neighbor as a public annoyance and a public nuisance to the neighborhood. Barner said in the video post on Instagram, quote, so maybe call me ignorant or maybe call me naive, but I have never experienced such hatred and isolation over a child in a community. Okay. And dear sister, I hope you do know that it is not about the child, obviously, and it is not about the tree. It is much deeper than that. And keep in mind, the individual making the personal complaint happens to be president of the HOA. And that may have something to do with why something that would seemingly be so small has now become a national story. But if that's the kind of action that the HOA wants to provide, we will provide it. Now the HOA is requiring Barner to resolve the violation and pay $382.16 to cover the fees the association incurred to hire an attorney to address the complaint. Barner says she believes this matter is directly tied to prejudice, abuse of power, and discrimination under or after her white neighbor, who happens to be the head of the HOA, filed a complaint that resulted in the legal notice. She said the neighbor would repeatedly record her son playing in the magnolia tree at his bus stop. The tree suffered no damage. In the days since she received the notice, Barner has started fighting back. Her story went viral after she took to social media to share the ordeal. She also printed letters for 50 of her neighbors describing the situation she and her family are being subjected to and accusing the HOA of abusing the bylaws. She posted dozens of supportive responses from community members siding with her and her son. Barner told WOFL that she intends to speak with an attorney to explore how to move forward with the HOA's demands. Quote, and I may lose, but I'm going to go down fighting, and I have no problem paying my fines and still using my voice to say this is 100% unconstitutional and not right, she said. Okay. Let's put up the mother again. So to the mother and to your beautiful child, I know you got beautiful kids, you're a beautiful family. Anytime there's a lawsuit filed against you, you have the right to respond. If they would like to get you under deposition, you have the right to put them under deposition as well. It's called sworn testimony. They would have to swear to statements of fact. And in that swearing of statements of facts, an attorney or you get to ask or pose some questions that may be quite embarrassing for them to have to answer on record. It's just a point of remedy for some. Also, I would highly recommend that based on the bylaws of the HOA, those neighbors that were sympathetic to you, those neighbors you gave flowers to and they got to meet your beautiful face and understand the context of your beautiful children. You see, those neighbors are part of the board of directors. They just typically don't show up to the meetings. And because of that, a small group of individuals who usually have too much time on their hands are the ones who become the de facto governing board. Here's what I recommend. Just a recommendation. If I were you, I would take those neighbors, go to the next HOA meeting, have them qualify as members, active members, voting members, and vote out that current leadership and make you the HOA president. All right? Just a recommendation. All right, we'll bring you updates as they come.